It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison joins us in studio once again. Yavapai.us is the website. You'll hear us say that takes you right to Yavapai County. So Yavapai.us. Welcome back, Randy. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for having us in today.
I thought it'd be a good time to have you come in. I didn't know you guys were going to do this over the weekend, but there was a joint statement, a kind of a blanket statement from the supervisors as well as the mayors of the cities and towns in the Verde Valley. Can you talk a little bit about that blanket statement that came out over the weekend? We had the news on Monday.
Yeah, that was an outcome of a smaller group that we put together back about 3-4 weeks ago. We put together two different groups for Yavapai County. We put together a Verde Valley group and a Prescott area group. And these groups were basically made up of the mayors and managers and the fire departments, our fire districts, our ambulance companies, our police and sheriff departments, all of our first responders, as well as, the different leaders in some of our more rural areas. And we had about, in the Verde Valley, in the Prescott area, that was about 72 people, I think. In the Verde Valley, we had about 58 people. I think we had up to 62 on our last call. And we were meeting, we started out meeting about every second or third day, about 3 times a week. And then that got down to 2 times a week. And right now we're at 1 time a week. And mainly it was so that we could all share information that we were getting. And a lot of us were on calls with different congressmen. Oh, we actually had 4 congressmen that were on the line and typically had at least one of them actually online instead of their staff at any given meeting. That was really helpful. But we were pretty much in constant contact with the governor's office, with the White House, with the Department of Health Services, and with our congressional leaders in trying to get information on what was happening and what needed to be done, and things were changing really fast. And so when we started slowing down that group, Justin Clifton from Sedona mentioned that we really should start talking about how we're going to start messaging and what the way we want to talk to the public. Also, I want to make clear, we also had Matt Ryan and his office from Coconino County in those calls as well, because part of our district, at least the Verde Valley, separates 2 different counties. So Coconino has a little bit of Sedona and the Sedona area, and we have the rest. So we thought it was real important that we have a complete voice and looking for the Verde Valley, looking out for us. So we started slowing down the major meetings, and we convened a much smaller group that was basically just the mayors and pretty much just the mayors and the supervisors and the chambers of commerce as well from the Verde Valley. And that group consists of about 16 to 18 people. And we started talking about how we want to message this issue we've been under, this challenge we've been under, this crisis, and how we want to talk to the public and try and create a very unified voice in doing that. Because, like I said, we have one city that's in 2 different counties, and both counties are affected completely different, and we'll be going back to work and putting things back in place, I believe, very differently. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody stuck together, that we created a unified voice. We didn't have people in one community saying, well, they're doing something different over there. Why are they doing it different over there? And this is what we're doing here. And I think really trying to push the message that we've been trying to push consistently from day one, which is, follow safety protocols. Wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate in a crowd. Our individual actions, behaviors really have the most impact on what we do day to day. You can be your biggest benefit. You can also be your worst enemy if you act recklessly. I don't know if you've been out over the weekend, but one issue that was brought up on Facebook and shared on the media, I actually saw it on the news this morning, was Slide Rock. The park is closed, yet the water of the creek was absolutely overflowing with people. They were giving and towing cars up on 89A, giving them tickets and getting rid of them, and yet people were just coming in, and you would think it was a regular day at the beach. Whether the governor decides to pull things back or not, I think the public has decided for the most part they've had enough, and they're going to get out and start doing things. And I think the most important message that we are trying to get out as a group is, this isn't done yet. We're not done. We haven't put into place large-scale testing yet. That's coming, and it's coming this week, but it isn't here yet. And so, people need to still be mindful of how they interact with the public, with their family, and what they do and what they expose themselves and others to.
I want to make a quick point. I meant to do this at the very beginning of the show. Randy, Garrison, and I are sitting down on Tuesday morning, and we're pre-recording the show that you are hearing on Thursday morning. So things may change a bit between what we're talking about on Tuesday and Thursday, but we can't do the show live for the sole fact, of course, of COVID-19. So we're going to do the best we can with what we have here today. Now, you brought up testing, and that's kind of interesting. I know the Sonora Quest Laboratories is working on an antibody test, which they're hoping to start administering this week as well. There's that. And then there was the blitz testing that was talked about with the governor's office on Monday as well. And the blitz testing seems to be just the COVID-19 test. So basically, if I were to go in, I don't know if I've had it or not. I've not been really sick. But it seems to me the COVID-19 test is great to have in case somebody really has the symptoms and they've come down with it. But at the same time, the antibody test, I think, is the one we really need to find out who has it, who has had it, who hasn't had it, and, where's the most vulnerable population. So have you heard anything about the antibody testing?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Sonora Quest is actually doing the antibody test, and as they're stating, early May. That will be available to anybody to come in and have done. They're expecting to do 1,000 to 3,000 of those a day, and they're fairly quick. Right now, there's a partnership with the state and U of A, and they're going to be testing starting Thursday. So the day this airs, they're going to be starting about 250,000 healthcare and first responder testing.
That's good to hear.
Primarily down in their area, and there are two major metropolitan areas, but that will start to seep out as well. They're ramping up for that. And then our own Arizona Department of Health Services is starting on Saturday 10 to 20,000 tests. They're going to be doing each weekend for the next 3 or 4 weekends. So there is just a ton of testing that is going to be rolling out, and I think that really in my mind, that's kind of a sign that we're going to be looking to lift these stay-at-home orders, at least our closures, in the very near future. I know the president has been really going on about the need for testing, and it definitely has the concern of our cities here in the Verde Valley because we're so high of an attractor for outside people coming here. And our governor also has made it very clear that, he's going to be reluctant to start opening things up without much more robust testing system in place. And it looks like starting Thursday and even earlier for some of these areas, we are now ramping up testing significantly. If you look at the numbers from around the state on the tests, we're gonna exceed that easily the very first weekend. So one thing I want to point out about the testing is, we've been watching what's going on across the country and other states and what they're doing and how the testing has gone. And the data that's coming in right now from across the nation is showing that when they come in and they do a mass testing like the antibody testing that we're going to be starting up, they're showing that people have either that there's a 50% or better confirmation that people have either had this or have it currently. And so I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see the test numbers spike for positive. But as I said, I think people, we already have it and we've already been dealing with, or we already have had it. I know I talk to people almost daily that said, I'm pretty sure I had this back in November or December around Christmas or Thanksgiving when family visited and whatnot. And you typically thought it was either allergies or the flu or a cold, but now the more symptoms are coming out, the more we're knowing about, what people were dealing with when they have it. I think you're going to find that as we roll out this large-scale testing, there's going to be quite a high percentage of our population that's already been dealing with it.
Let's take our first break. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison with me today. Again, this show pre-recorded from Thursday on Tuesday, so some of the information is going to be changing throughout the week, but this is the information we have at the moment. Yavapai.us is the website you can go to. That's the Yavapai County website, Yavapai.us. This is countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison for District 3 is with us in studio today. We're talking COVID-19 in Yavapai County. Website is yavapai.us. Randy, we were talking about the testing, and I know the governor had mentioned either last week or the week before that, and I've heard this from other governors that have been interviewed across the country as well as the president, is that one thing that needs to be instilled is that we have to have better testing. So I think Governor Cuomo said it the best. We need to know where this enemy is. We can't see it. So if we have the antibody test and everybody takes the antibody test, we could say, okay, this portion has had it or it has it, and this portion hasn't. So you need to be a little more careful while we're going through this, and these people don't. The other thing I think was one of the two other things was the PPE, the personal protective why can't I remember the name of it? The PPE, the personal protection equipment. There was a big shortage of that, and that seems to have ramped up. I was talking to Leslie from the Health Department, Yavapai County Health Department last week, and she says that has ramped up, so everyone is doing well with that. And then I noticed that the Army Corps of Engineers has they've taken a closed hospital down in the Phoenix area, and by the end of this week, it's supposed to be open just in case we should get a surge of COVID-19 cases. So it seems to me everything we wanted to have lined up just in case when we go to reopen that we do have this surge of COVID-19 cases, at least we have what we need to be able to handle something like that. Is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're seeing. And I think part of the mentality behind this as well is this is going to be sticking around for a while. It's not going to be gone just because the sunshine came out and it got hot, which it definitely has. That was one of the things they were talking about all these mass gatherings at the parks and the lakes and bodies of water right now is people are just coming out in swarms because they think because the sun is out and it's warm that this virus doesn't last. It kills it automatically, and it does. It makes it less. The lifespan of the virus is very much less as it's exposed to heat and sunlight, but it doesn't automatically just go away. So you still have to be cautious, and I think that's another problem we're going to have, like I was stating earlier, when we start doing this massive amount of testing. I think we're going to get a very high response to people having had or currently having this virus with them, and that's going to cause its own little run of panic, and people expecting or wanting to be hospitalized, whether they're actually showing signs or not. And so I think, there's the good and bad comes with it. We want to know where it is in our communities, what communities are heavily affected, and what areas have or don't have this problem, so that we can deal with it and kind of get our hands around how we're going to get out of it and what we got left to deal with. But right now, I can tell you our hospitals up here, at least in the Verde Valley, we're extremely well taken care of at the moment. We only have one person here in the Verde Valley that's hospitalized. We have 8 patients, I believe was the last number I got, that are currently under observation. The bulk of the hospitalizations that we had here at VVMC, Verde Valley Medical Center in Cottonwood, was people that were actually brought down from the Flagstaff market, because it's all part of the Northern Arizona healthcare system, and they were not overwhelmed up there, but they definitely were feeling the pressure, and they wanted to make sure that they had room in case they actually did have a surge up there, and they also wanted to try and spread it around so they didn't overwork their staff. So, we had quite a few patients who were brought down here to deal with, but that's all drying up and going away. And so, while our test numbers still show pretty high in comparison, that we really aren't experiencing any real significant increases. And matter of fact, one of the things that's been a little confounding to us is our number continues to stay high, but we've already been sending people home or taking people off of the rolls as being under observation, because they have come out of it now for 3 or 4 weeks and are no longer showing signs or any kind of conditions associated with this COVID-19. So I think if you were to see the real numbers, we're in pretty good shape overall. So I think, though, the government and the federal government specifically pushed a lot of money out as part of this care package, not necessarily just for today, but also with the understanding that this can become something that can happen much more easily in the future, and that we should expect this not to get away or go away very soon, and we're going to be dealing with it for a while. And so part of the money was specifically given, and it's going to be going out to the healthcare system to prepare for the future, not just deal with the past and today.
I've watched our news change as well, and just another change occurred over this past weekend. I was talking with someone, and they were saying how, it says Coconino County has 400 plus cases of COVID-19. Yavapai County, I think the last time I looked at the number was 77. But then if you look at the numbers of actual hospitalizations, of the 77 in Yavapai County, there was 3 hospitalizations and a few people that were under, just being watched. And in Coconino County, there were only 14 people hospitalized. Now, I don't know how accurate those numbers are. They're supposed to be very accurate, but I look at that and I say, okay, there's 400 plus cases, but there's really only 14 people really heavily impacted by this virus. So the hospitals should be doing okay. So I thought that was really good news. And so that's something I'm trying to include now in my newscast. At first, it was just the numbers, and the numbers can seem so huge and overwhelming. But then when you look at the actual hospitalizations, which was recently added to the list that I get each day, it's like, oh, well, we've only got out of the 77 in Yavapai County, there's 3 of them that are in the hospital being treated for this, and may they do just great and fully recover. And in Coconino County, out of the 400 plus, there's only 14 that are actually hospitalized. So I thought that was all really good news. We have to take our second break. When I come back, I would like to talk to you, Randy, a little bit about, we don't know yet as of Tuesday when the show is being recorded, and it's going to air on Thursday, but at the moment we don't know how the state's going to reopen, but we could talk about that when we come back. Website for you is yavapai.us. Stick around countywide. Back in just a couple minutes.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at Gettle'sHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettle's.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
So I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a few minutes left in the program. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison with me today talking COVID-19 and kind of an update. We're coming to we're at the end of the month. This is airing on Thursday, and this is the end of the month. And I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a light switch. It's like, okay, COVID-19's here, everybody stay home, and at the end of April, we'll turn that switch off and everybody can go back to what they're going to do. I don't know if that's really going to be the case, though.
It'll be interesting. The governor's orders, at least his stay-home order, expires Thursday night. And so Friday morning, technically, there's no longer a request or a requirement by the governor to stay home. Now, he has 3 choices. He can extend it, he can let it go away completely, or he can modify it. And I would say from what we're seeing with the ramping up of testing supplies being available, the ability to, you're going to be able to drive through a CVS or a Walgreens in the near future, or even some of our hospitals and labs, and be able to drive up. They'll be able to hand you a kit. You're going to be able to test yourself, hand it back out, get a result. and know exactly where you stand within 10 or 15 minutes. And so I think that's all being done in preparation for at least some type of relaxation of the stay-at-home order as of Friday morning. So that's kind of what we're seeing coming down the line, and time will tell. One of the problems we've had or concerns we've had is, and we were on multiple phone conversations with the governor's office, both at the county level and the city and town level, 2-3 times, sometimes 4 times a week. And it was getting very frustrating because we weren't necessarily hearing information coming out of the governor's office before you turned on Channel 10 News and watched it live at 5 o'clock. And, I mean, we had a couple meetings where we didn't get off the line till 4:30, and there was a change in direction and stance within that half an hour of going live. So I don't know that we're going to be informed as other government entities in helping prepare for things relaxing or opening back up. I think you're going to hear about it as soon as we do, but we're all kind of lining up and starting to prepare for that eventuality, and whether it's this week or next week or 2 weeks from now, I think people have already decided that to some extent, they're having to get back out and going again and start getting into the workplace. So I think you'll see the governor make a change in direction this week, and could be as early as Thursday or Friday, Wednesday or Thursday, I guess, or Friday. But we'll see when it happens. You'll know when we do.
All right. Well, we're out of time. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really do appreciate that. Yavapai.us again is the website. Yavapai.us. That has been today's Countywide. We thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you again next time.